The next exercise is the pelvic clock. This is looking at disassociation between the hip and the pelvis. So bring yourself onto your mat, nice and carefully lower yourself down into this supine position. Make sure your feet are nicely in line with your hips and your arms are down by the side of your body. Just check in with your eye gaze, should be forward on the ceiling, and your neck is nice and long. From here, we're just going to imagine I've placed a marble on the top of your pelvis, and we're slowly going to roll that marble posteriorly, which is towards your belly button, and you feel your back flatten to the floor, and then take it into that anterior tilt, which is going forward of the pelvis, which allows you to create more arch in your back. So just with your breath, as you exhale, posterior tilt, and as you inhale, anterior tilt. So just spend a little bit of time just doing these few motions in the pelvis. Once you feel you've got that sorted, you can then start taking the pelvis to the left and the right. So by this I mean, can you allow the left side to lift up as the right side drops down? And you'll see that rotation, so it's like sliding the marble down the side of the pelvis. And then can you take it back to the other side? As you're doing this diagonal movement, make sure your knees are not dropping from side to side. So can you make sure your pelvis stays in the centre around those hip joints? When you feel you've got that sorted, you can then try the diagonals. So if you imagine there's a clock, you could do 10 and 4, going diagonally. You can then try 2 and 8. So can you really get moving that pelvis in those different directions? Once you've got all those areas sort of sussed, you can then go into the full pelvic clock. So starting in at your belly button, then going round the corner of